Hey YouTube, this is Chris with the Po' Boy Special Channel, and I am back over here at Scotties Gun Works. You know, this is a popular series, and you guys like to see what we're doing over here. So let's go over and talk to Scotty and see what he's up to tonight. Hey Scotty, thanks for having us over tonight. What are you up to tonight?
Well, tonight what we're going to do is we're going to cut a 12-gauge barrel and put some screw-in chokes in it. And
oh, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk
a 12-inch barrel?
Well, it's a 12-gauge barrel is what
12
it is.
gauge, okay.
Yes, and it's a little right barrel is what it is. I think it's about a 20-inch barrel. Anyway, what we're going to do with it is the customer wants to put screw-in chokes in it. So I'm going to walk everybody through the process and show everybody how that's done. That's something else we do here.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, what we're going to do here is this is the barrel we're going to put the screw-in choke tubes in. And I'm going to walk everybody through the procedure on this right here. And basically what we did is, and of course I did some measurements and everything, you know, that I didn't show here on the video. Kind of takes a few minutes to do that. And basically what I'm doing is, when I do these measurements, I'm making sure there's plenty of metal there to make our cut. Because we're going to go from this, and this is my sample piece right here, to this right here, you know, where we can, you know, screw-in choke tube in that.
Absolutely. Now you said that this is like a riot gun. Now this is a legal size barrel length for
yes,
this
it is.
shotgun.
It is. It's a tactical gun is what it is.
Okay, and he's going to put some choke rings in there, huh?
Yeah, choke tubes is what they are. You know, some of them come with choke tubes from the factory. This particular gun here didn't, and kind of show everybody what I'm talking about here. This is my test piece right here. You know, I just kind of bring it as I just made that up right there as an advertisement to show people, you know.
Oh,
but that's a rim
yeah.
choke. The same thing that the factory would have put in there, the Remington.
Okay.
And I just cut it out and put the threads in there. That way you can just screw that in there, you know, and that way you'll have different patterns in your shotgun.
Now I'm going to go out on a limb on here, Scotty. I'm going to say that this guy is wanting to use his tactical shotgun for turkey hunting.
Yeah, well,
that's what I'm going to guess at here.
I think he's fixing it up for his kid or something, but anyway, I told him we can take care of it.
All right, sounds good.
Here's what we're going to start using, you know, when we get ready to do this job right here. What we got here is we've got some pallets, little brass pallets. I've done measured them to make sure, you know, they'll fit right in there, because when you start using this tooling right here, you don't want any wobble. And that right there is what the cutter looks like from Brunel's. They sell some really good tools. But anyway, what I do is I just take and I put that right there on the end of that pallet right there, and then we'll start cutting.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and set this up and show you what it looks like when we'll start cutting. Now we've got the pallet and the cutter all set up here. I'm fixing to go ahead and start cutting the barrel. And what we will do first thing is put a little oil on it, cutting oil.
Okay. And folks, he's going to be directing me where to move the camera to, and I'm just going to keep it running while he tells me where to go for the best angles and stuff.
So we just got to stick it in like that right there, making sure it's got plenty of oil on it.
All right.
And then what I do is, of course, there's an easier way of doing this. You could use a drill or something like that, but I always like to just do it by hand. Okay. That way, I'm sure not to mess up, because you want to make sure that you got a precision cut in here. You don't want it to be too thin on one side and too thick. You just want to make sure you can, you know, have a good straight cut.
I'm going to move over here because he told me to do this beforehand. All right.
Basically do it like this right here. Just take it slow. And that pallet's keeping that straight.
You can see the metal shavings coming right off of that. Make sure it's in focus here. I've got a new camera that I'm using, folks. I'm trying to learn how to use it and keep it all in focus and everything.
Now what I'll do is pull it out and start blow some of the shavings off there.
All right.
Make sure we ain't got no metal chips in there. I'll just reach over and get this air line here.
Okay.
Blow it off real good, and then I'll take me a patch, run through there. You can bring the camera around here and you can kind of see what kind of progress we're making there. Not much, but
no, it's there. You can see it.
on its way.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to mention too is you want to make sure that if you cut the barrel this short, that this ring right here is not too close to the end.
Gotcha.
Now this right here, we're going to have just enough room here. It's going to be about right there. That way you got plenty of metal there to hold all that on there, because you don't want that to rip off when you're shooting it.
No.
So
no.
that's part. Like I said, I've done some measurements on that, and everything's good to go with it.
I think in shotgun terms that's called really bad whenever you have something rip off your shotgun.
Yeah.
looks like you're about there.
Just about.
And you've worked up a nice little sweat.
Whew, yeah.
And you're sounding like a Wookiee there. All right.
More shavings.
Yeah. Now, how many, with that particular tool, how many barrels have you actually bored through like this?
Thousands.
Really?
No, not really. I probably, I don't know, maybe 20, 25, I guess.
So that Brownell's tool really has lasted a long time, hasn't it?
It has. Yeah, Brownell sells, the best when it comes to stuff like this. Now they ain't cheap, but you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
I learned a long time ago, ain't no need trying to cut corners on tools. I don't want to recognize my number and then bump the price up when I call now after this. They wouldn't.
No, that's where I got my magazine spring replacements for my AR magazines.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. They work like a charm.
Let me take a look at that now real quick. I think we're done, but yeah, we are. Now, folks, there we are so far.
So now the wall's thinned out and ready to be threaded.
Now we're ready to thread it.
Okay.
Everything's looking really good. I think I'm going to hit it one more time with a reamer
Okay.
to make sure we got a good even crown, because that's real important.
So the reamer puts a crown on it as well.
It does, yes, sir. Yeah, what it does here, your first step here is the starter set, and then this right here is you got a starter set right there, and then right there is actually where the threads will go in right there. That's the thread set.
Okay.
And that right there is the size of the tube itself, and then this right here will be your crown set.
Okay.
So, but flush up against that.
All right.
Give you a nice contour, I guess you will. It'll take long to do this. I'm just going to kind of,
I'm going to get a little bit closer on this because you can kind of see where it's shaving right there at the
get up too close to the
crown.
sight. It's about right there. Just a nice, easy hit.
And it's nice and even now.
There.
All
So
right.
got plenty of.
So let's see if I can get this in focus enough.
I'll take it
oh
out.
yeah, that's perfect.
I'll take it out of the bison. There we are so far, folks. As you can see, the steps down in there.
You sure can. Yeah, that's purty.
So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and cut the threads.
All right.
Same procedure.
Okay, so use the same pilot.
We'll get that little C-clamp off there. Put that right there. And we got a threading reamer right here. And that's what it looks like.
Now, like I said before, this is where I get nervous because I know how easily I could screw this thing up.
And I always check and double check. This is for the Winchester and the Remington.
Mm-hmm. And this, of course, is a Remington barrel.
Yeah. Same procedure. Only thing I might do different on this one right here is, instead of putting the oil in there, I'm going to put some Magic Tap in there. It's a good product.
Alright. And Magic Tap is specially formulated to help with the threading process, right?
It is.
Alright.
little bit of pressure on it.
Folks, I'm not sure if you can hear this, but you can really hear it cutting into the metal at this point.
Same procedure. Cut it a little bit, back it off, and blow it out with the air. That looks like it might have it, but I'm going to hit it again.
Hold on for a second. Let me get in there a little bit better. It's not focusing fast enough. Yeah, I see. It looks like it
might have it. I'm gonna
maybe
hit it
an eighth
again.
of an inch
I'm
away.
going to hit it again in there.
Okay.
It's going to allow a little bit the tube itself to seat up against it.
Like I said, maybe an eighth of an inch.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
Now the magic tap.
Looks like it's a little bit thicker than the other.
And it's got some kind of chemical in it that's supposed to make it easier to cut, and it does. I don't know what they put in it, but I'm sure you're not supposed to get it on you. And it'll just go so far, and that's it.
That's it.
It'll bottom out, that's it.
Yeah, I saw it. That's interesting.
I mean, the reason why it just goes so far is because it hadn't been reamed, and it's, you know, it's too thick, too much metal there for the...
Yeah, it's in that step, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah, that's what's stopping it.
I've got him boxed in with the camera tripod.
With this little universal tool here that screws them in and out.
Let me guess, Brownells.
Brownells, that's right. Now, numerage, and there's some other gun places out there that sell some really good tools too, but I've just always swore by Brownells. They're just an old company, and they're just down to earth, and they just, you know, treat people how they'd want to be treated, like it says in the Bible.
Yeah, I do believe it's fitting right on in there.
I believe it is.
Let me get a better angle at this.
And there we go. Now I'll take it out of the thing here where we can really get a good look at it.
All right.
And there is our finished product.
Is beautiful. Yep.
And we still got plenty of, you know, I can't stress enough how important it is, you know, if somebody's going to do a short barrel like this, make sure that it's long enough where you can put it in there, because you don't want to thin that down, that thin right up in that area, because it might rip.
Yeah.
But,
that would be bad.
Yeah, that wouldn't be no good, would it?
All right, Scotty, that was amazing. Thanks for showing that to us.
I'm glad to do it. Hope somebody learned something from it, and we do this here, you know, if anybody needs anything like this done, well, they got my number, just give me a call, and we'll see what we can do. If you'd rather do it yourself, I can use this video right here as a how-to video.
Excellent. Thank you.